Guy invented Holmes' vision for the last film, and I think it worked out extremely well.
Clip wings. Now, blunt his beak.
He pictures how the fight will go in his head, and we watch that, and then we see it done in real time.
We've tried to improve upon it. We've tried to sort of evolve it in this next iteration.
Do you want to track out of the previs as well as tracking into it? You track in, previs.
And track out and go straight to action.
And then track out to action.
It'd be nice if it's basically the same shot. It's the in,
Well, let's
the out.
Well, I didn't want to repeat the same Holmes vision.
Half speed,
3, 2, 1, action!
Guy made it very clear from the get-go what he wanted to create, and he was true to his word.
And I can tell that he's really, really giddy and happy about some of the tech stuff he was able to do, and to keep infusing this film with that kind of Guy Ritchie style.
The speed of the Phantom camera allowed us to sort of, I hope, do something original.
I'll go back that way, and then I want to bring you back.
He knows what he wants, and he knows how to shoot it. Has a great way to move that camera. He knows how to make it look. He has a great sense of the pace. He has a great sense of the characters.
Guy did incredible work on the first movie. It was just the perfect marriage of seeing how a character works in an action scene and then the physicality works, and it married the two. It was
To it.
And action.
We said, okay, for him to just think it and enact it, we saw that. We saw that perfectly in the first film. So how can we, if we're ever gonna use it again in this movie, what can we do that changes that up?
What we've done is we've introduced moments where it doesn't work quite as well as expected.
There's different endings.
You see some of Holmes's limitations in the first time if he's not going to imagine someone else might interfere with what he plans to do. And then you see his actual strengths the second time, because if he knows someone is interfering with what he's planning, he's figured out how to deal with that.
The books and in our films, sort of, Holmes' dark twin. He's very much a match for Holmes because he is equally intelligent.
Moriarty of it all. It just seemed like it had to have a bit more gravitas and be a bit more exciting and challenging and all that stuff.
And action.
And we get a sense in the great game that they're playing is that they can match each other move for move. And so we've applied that to Holmes' vision as well. And so Moriarty has his Moriarty vision, which matches Holmes' vision.
Trap arm, target, weakness.
Which leads to an interesting complication, which is, where does that go? If they continually know exactly what the other person's gonna do, well, how do you end the fight?
It seemed like a perfect opportunity to have simultaneous vision that would allow you to understand that both Moriarty and Holmes were working on the same intellectual plane. And he seems like the least likely villain that you can imagine.
I shall endeavor to find the most creative of endings for the Doctor. And his wife lies until too late that it has swum into a trap.
You know, in creating this super villain, he has to equal Holmes in every way, and we thought that we played around early on with this chess metaphor.
Your move.
Well, there was an idea at one point during the script process that it was a game, and whether Moriarty's motivation was the stimulation of having a game with someone that was his intellectual rival.
And then we thought, well, is that too obvious? And it was only because we, in many ways, exploited it too much. This was early drafts of the script, and we thought, you know what, let's pull that back a little bit and just have 3 key areas where we hit on that.
It's just the sense of the game between the two of them that is stimulating to them both.
I have the utmost regard for your talents.
Director of the English Chess Federation, and I'm a technical advisor on the film, specifically for the chess scenes. I think they needed somebody to construct a game on which the whole scene could be based, and that's what I did.
Well, take all the credit, why don't you?
Absolutely. It's a metaphor for the action that goes on in the rest of the film, specifically sacrificing a queen in order to achieve victory in the long game. And the game we selected was chosen because it features an attractive finish, a queen sacrifice, leading to checkmate, and it just fit perfectly.
I think you've just lost your most valuable piece.
Winning strategy sometimes necessitates sacrifice.
First, I simply trawled through a database that I had of Queen sacrifices. And then I was reminded of a game that was played in Santa Monica in 1966 by a Danish grandmaster called Bent Larsen, who's most famous for losing 6-0 to Fischer. And that game came into my head.
He's making this all up, by the way.
Absolutely.
This is just a game of chess for him.
King to Rook 2.
Playing blindfold of exactly the same technique.
Mate.
It wasn't actually in the original script. It was a development later on, and I think it
about fun. It's dramatic. There's a lot of bad fun. And I mean, in order to do that kind of film, you have to have fun yourself, you know. Right. Except for the chess thing, which then that's no fun when you play chess. It's serious.
There's some very good players on set. Some very good players. He plays a very good game. He plays a very good game.
Would you like me to recommend your next move?
The whole metaphor of good versus evil, it fits very well with a game of chess. And in fact, historically in fiction, people have fabricated, completely made-up games between Holmes and Moriarty. And I think it's very surprising that it doesn't feature in the stories at all. Chess would have been a perfect metaphor. It's probable that it doesn't feature because the author didn't play himself.
The greatest success of the film is that our bad guy is really, really, really done right. And doing a bad guy right is the hardest thing to do in this kind of show. Come on, dude, it's 1989 and we're at a rave up and we all just went out together. How are we doing it? You're there. I'm here.
One of them.
I feel about Jude the way Sherlock feels about John. He's the best partner a guy could ask for.
What is really exciting is when you get to know a character and you really feel comfortable that your interpretation of the character is working, and just trusting that you can trust yourself, trusting your instincts, trusting a sense of clarity as to where and how that person will respond and what they'll say.
Took off like a monkey from a box. I may need one of those later.
It's your stag night. If you want a monkey in a box or anything of the like, I'll see to it that you get it. Keep these, they're a wedding gift. I'm not around about tonight.
It was a really rewarding process in the first film. We didn't quite know how it was going to work, but we worked this kind of strange equation out. And prior to filming, we really slipped straight back into it. And if anything, because we didn't have to get to know each other, this one, I hope, has benefited from the fact that we were working that process from before shooting rather than discovering it as we went along?
I'm a bit more dramatic and self-flagellating than some artists, so I'm very passionate, I guess. And I think that was another nice thing with Jude, is that he's very kind of even-keeled about the whole thing, so that no matter how kind of far out I go in trying to do my thing and our thing, he always kind of counterbalanced that nicely.
He and Holmes are gay, and of course there's some quite funny little, not exactly allusions to that in Guy's films, but it kind of skates on the knowing surface of that quite well, I think.
Finally got me to go to Paris with you.
You and I in Paris together, like a honeymoon without Mary.
We always believe we can do better, and I think the relationship is funnier, more extreme, and more emotional, which is great, which is very satisfying.
Good evening, by the way.
No.
It doesn't.
There was a decision made early on that
Well known in this country and is always on television doing quiz programs and things.
You've seen him on QI, giving him all his clever patois. Well, he's like that in the flesh, which is very rewarding. And we have a much smarter set and cast and crew due to Stephen Fry and his wisdom.
there is a lot of him in Mycroft, oddly. That's why it's such a brilliant piece of casting.
He's a gentleman, and he has a sort of 19th century quality to him, an old-fashioned, in a good way, sense of amazing scholarship, erudition, a joy in knowledge for knowledge's sake, for the pleasure of knowledge.
He's kind of like a walking encyclopedia. So oftentimes it would be easier just to ask him than refer to any of the research material we had, because sometimes it's not entirely accurate, and he is always entirely accurate.
Yes, that's a very good point.
I suppose somehow I was talked into consenting to one.
Exactly. Why not?
Most charming. Thank you. I shall be in my room.
It's just something about the idea of a man, because he's so utterly antisocial. And he happens to be having Mary Mawson staying, you know, Watson's fiancée, staying at his house, but he's so unused to other people except his manservant that he just wanders around his house naked. And he sees her there, "Good morning, my dear," and just chats to her as if nothing's happened while she's in a complete state. Stanley, come here! Don't have you running away like that.
I couldn't have jumped further, harder, faster, higher when I was asked if I was interested in Mycroft. I thought it was a wonderful gig. The sort of heavy pomposity about him that if I'm honest, I know people see in me, and so I felt I was suitable. I can't claim to look much like Robert, but people seem to accept it, that I'm an older brother, so I'm thrilled.
Wake up, we're here.
Brace yourself, we're about to be violated.
They were so cynical.
It's true to say that both Conan Doyle and Guy Ritchie have a very great appetite and love of the of travellers and gypsies.
Well, film needs colour, and gypsies usually deliver when it comes to colour. and we needed reasons to get into Europe. And gypsies seemed to allow us both the colour and a ticket to the other side of the water.
Gypsies were very much a part of the sort of the 19th century thing. There's a certain Gothic romance in gypsies. Obviously, they feature heavily in Bram Stoker's Dracula and other things. And we were looking for ways to make our heroine interesting, and to make her a gypsy princess seemed like a good starting point.
Sim is a gypsy fortune teller, but she's actually quite a bit more. And she essentially is the linchpin of unraveling this very, very complex case.
She's very much a sort of mysterious and Dickensian, broad sort of Conan Doyle character who also has the sort of spice and balls, if you like, of a Guy Ritchie character.
Who are you two? You know, she's seen a lot of stuff, and so it makes her kind of related to Holmes in a way, because she's also been, you know, to the darkest places in a way. And she has seen stuff that makes her aware of the darker side of humanity.
We were all big fans of Noomi, but Noomi was she took it so seriously, Noomi. When she turned up for an interview, she really meant it.
I mean, she sold it too. She's like, I have a little gypsy blood, you know. Come on! So we all met with her and we thought she could really bring something to this character. She's got the strength, she's so interesting, she's willing to go for it. Seemed like both from what she would put on the screen and how she would work with us behind the screen seemed to really match up with what we were looking for.
Noomi's extraordinary. She's, in my opinion, really quite unique in what she contributes to films at the moment as a young woman. She's brilliant.
I've always been really interested in the gypsy culture, and, you know, how they live. It's kind of, they are always on the edge. You know, they want total freedom in a way, but they are kind of homeless. So when this came to me,
And it's only on the first act.
I think Guy Ritchie is one of the most enjoyable directors I've ever worked with. He is smart as a whip, fantastically curious, and an amazing technical grasp of filmmaking.
He runs probably the most efficient, relaxed set I've ever been on.
I'll be in my room.
Be in my room.
Yeah.
And go.
I think, yes.
But he's great. He knows exactly what he wants, and he gets it. He goes after it. It's refreshing.
Isn't it blended?
Yeah.
It's so conspicuous.
I'll
It's
grab
subtle.
it back to number one.
It's not bad, something like that. It's so overt, it's covert.
It's a well-oiled machine at this point.
And also, you can be slightly more discreet on that, on the first line. You were a bit like... It was a bit... Yeah.
Okay, how much more is there?
How much more is there?
How much more is there?
Yeah, give it one of those, and then... Any chance of a cup of tea? I'm not sure who it is going to give you that cup of tea.
It doesn't feel like work. So, and I try not to make it feel like work. So I like to think that we remain creative up until the very last moment.
Okay, yeah. Just one of them.
What's wonderful about his approach is his confidence, and he had a great confidence in the first film, and a great sense of clarity about what he wanted to bring out of it and what he was bringing to it.
I think if you ask any actor on a film set, the one thing you most want, first off, and it's the most important thing, is to trust the director. So that when the director says cut, it means he's got what he wants, and what he wants is what's best for the film. And if he says go again, and you thought, well, that was really good, he knows why he's going again.
You have to start at a good place with the material. You don't want to show up on the day and say, what should this be about? You should know basically what you want to get out of a scene, and then what you get to do is discover things on the set.
Sometimes it's crazy making because we know that lack of preparation doesn't make for a spontaneous performance. So we tend to work our asses off and then be spontaneous on top of it. So really, to do it the way we like to do it, I think it's a full-time job. You got to do it all day long. You have to have the scenes in the best possible shape they can be in, and then you have to play with them on top of that.
Like you said, if it starts to go on, it will just be like, it's how much information we need to get out. I find him, what is it at the moment? Hey, you could all run from me. What kind of a friend are you? You give me all this money. And I'm
Jude, he's our standout thinker these last couple days. He's coming up with all the right ideas.
It's just a case of keep an eye on each other. Everyone arrives different every day with a different energy and a new idea, and we want it to get faster and better and bigger and brighter and all those things.
Yes, that's all it takes.
Yes.
So easily pleased. It's going to be a smooth rest of the shoot with this sort of attitude.
Right, check the gate on that.
In the opportunity to do a second movie, we wanted to make sure that we could kind of up the stakes.
Hadn't seen before. And we thought, wouldn't it be fun to do the same on a bigger scale, to do it in Europe, to show Paris in the 19th century, to show Strasbourg at that time, to get a sense of continental Europe in the same way that we've shown London, and give a sort of reality to the world that wasn't possible before you had the sort of sophisticated visual effects that we have now.
Quite seldom do you film where the story's set. So we do the usual thing, which is that when we're confronted with a location on the page, our designer, Sarah, comes up with imaginative ways of creating that. She has a fantastic ability to go to a location and see it differently.
Trying to kind of come at them with a fresh approach, you know, because we all know these locations, and, you know, it's the practicality. We have to shoot within London. And, you know, so it's kind of, as much as possible, looking upon them as a kind of blank canvas that you build upon them. You know, the Hampton Court Gardens is the Eiffel Tower. And the other reason why we're here is that we have King Henry VIII's kitchens, which is doubling for our Paris kitchens circa 19th century.
This is Wollaston Manor, owned by the Rothschild family and looked after by the National Trust. And this is standing in for our Hotel de Triomphe in Paris. And when we see it on the film, it's going to be 4 or 5 stories high, so we're adding some more stories and altering the outside. We got a slight head start here because obviously Wollaston Manor is completely based on French architecture. It's Frederick Rothschild who built it in the 1870s, was quite a Francophile, and he commissioned a French architect who designed and built it.
We have a French DP, of course, Philippe, who's appalled at our interpretation of France, but it's France when we have to do France in the UK. It has been virtually a different set every day, every other day. There's just been so many sets.
So where are we now? Do you know, I'm not quite sure where we are. I came in, well, we're certainly in a munitions factory. I think we're in England. I believe we're in London. I have no idea where we are in London. I got into a blacked out car, and next thing I know, I'm here. 2, 1, and action.
Now, would you like to play this game?
We're in Hatfield House, which is one of the more famous royal houses around London. I believe Queen Elizabeth I was told she was going to be queen in one of the buildings out the back.
Might I trouble you? Just to hear? For an inscription.
That's from, yeah, this is Moriarty's humble library. We had to knock a third off the size yesterday because it was looking rather